Hey everybody, True Dog here, internet's favorite dog, back at it with another video. Today we'll be looking at some shape-shifting stuff on YouTube, mainly from Divine Truths channels. But this is just something I noticed the other day. This is from the Dead Meat channel, James A. Janice. I mentioned this guy in my previous video when I was talking about people blinking out of unison. This guy does it a lot, and I don't think I'll be able to capture any of it here. And I don't want to focus too much on this video, on this guy, because I want to show some other stuff that's more relevant. But like, this is a horror movie channel where he talks about horror movies. So obviously horror movies are disgusting, and I think they became really popular in the late 70s and early 80s, and they really, with Michael Jackson's Thriller song, the whole reason that song was released was to promote horror movies. The original version of that song was about space travel, was about, I forget, Starlight, I think it was. Instead of Thriller, it was like Starlight, Starlight, or something like that. And it was a lot more wholesome. And the record label, or whatever, made him change it to a song about horror movies. And of course, we all know the Thriller film clip, which is actually pretty hardcore, especially for its time. But that thing was, the agenda was selling horror movies because they're very low vibrational, fear-based stuff, and especially for children, like back when video stores existed, I'd go, when I'd go to the video store, the horror section would always scare the living shit out of me. Like you just to know those things are there. It's like an evil energy in the place, and you would test your fear and look at the cases and look at the back and scare yourself that way. And I wouldn't have nightmares from that, but it would those images, and you put it together, you see like a person like chopped in half on the back of the video case or on the front or whatever, and you think about that for like months as a kid, and that's just traumatizing MK Ultra stuff. And I don't know how anyone could ever get into horror movies. I think every now and then, with the right company, maybe it's okay to watch a horror movie once in a while. But this guy's addicted to them. He watches them, so that to me is pretty sus. What else? Oh yeah, so this is his video compilation thing showing all his intros from the last year or something. And he's talked about these Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen the first one. And just from watching his recaps on the movie, they're clearly about something that happens, where the CIA is involved with these houses out in the woods, where they actually get people to terrorize, they pick up hitchhikers, people go missing, and it's like Hostel, and they murder people and they torture people, and it's all about getting the adrenochrome. It's adrenochrome farming, and there's multiple cases of people who have been caught in this. They're all connected to the, like I said, CIA, or even and the cops and the law and Freemasons and stuff, and it's all organized so that people, they hire these like inbred hick farmers, they pay them good money to pick up hookers and torture them and kill them, and eventually, the body and the adrenochrome is harvested, and if anyone gets caught, the killer, like Leatherface, for example, is the patsy. And in one of these movies, I forget which one it was. I think it was like from the mid-90s, one of those really lower rated Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. They talk about it openly. That's what the plot of the movie is, that the CIA has been watching that Texas Chainsaw family, the Hewitts or whatever they are, the whole time with cameras, and it's like this whole sick, like sting operation thing. And Janice, of course, thought that was just, a really stupid idea to put in a movie. But when I heard that, I thought, oh, holy crap, that's disclosure. So I don't know how well I explained that. But what I'm trying to say is that, they hide the truth in fiction, which is what you know. Anyway, let's get to the thing that I saw.
How many kills did we get to see Leatherface?
I don't want to...
Let's chainsaw day.
Sorry. Okay. So this thing.
How many people did Angela Baker?
So this is from his Sleepaway Camp video, and he does an impression of that. That's the last scene from Sleepaway Camp. And in that movie, I haven't seen it, but I've seen his version. Look at that face. This is what I say about like reps. Okay. If you were to, how some people die with their eyes open? And they don't look alive. It just like they look like dummies. That's what these things can look like. They're just sort of dead looking, and also they have those faggoty sort of haircuts. Like I've always said, psychopaths are walking haircuts, and I don't know for sure if this James A. Janice guy is a psychopath exactly, but there's something definitely iffy about him. So anyway, this sleepaway camp movie, it's like Friday the 13th or something like that, where there's a killer going around, and eventually the twist is, spoiler alert, not that you should be watching this stuff, but the twist is that the Angela Baker, the protagonist, the scream queen or whatever of the movie, was the killer the whole time. And it's also revealed that she's standing there naked at the end, with a knife or something, and she has a penis, right? She was transgender or something the whole time. She was actually a boy, and I think that's disclosure about transgender people, because I've known at least a couple throughout my life, and they were both killers. They were people who took HRT, hormone replacement therapy, so they weren't transitioned later in their life, and they were taking this hormone replacement therapy, and they were serial killers, right? And like, what's that other one? That's the famous one. I mean, there's like, what's that? Silence of the Lambs. I forget his name. Banana Bob or whatever. The guy in that movie, he's like trans or something, and he's like a psychopathic killer. And freaking Caitlyn Jenner mowed down a bunch of people in its car, and it won a freaking award. So I'm pretty sure there's something in that HRT that makes people like psychopathic. But anyway, so that's like what they were disclosing in that movie, that transgender people, like, I'm not saying all, because I would imagine most people who decide to be transgender have been raped or molested as children, and they've just like disassociated from their regular sexuality, and their mind's just fragmented and warped, and they don't identify with themselves anymore. But yeah, so anyway, so I think that's what that was pointing out. And this Janice makes the face of the woman at the end of the movie, or the trans person at the end of the movie, and I just noticed this. Look at this.
Arrow whack at summer camp? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
So that's the face, right? That's the face. It's a pretty good impression. I'll give him that. But so, the fuck is that? Because okay, his tongue is down, and there should be teeth there. So what the hell is that? It looks like a second tongue. I know that, like, when you put your tongue up, you have that, whatever it is, like that muscle or that, I don't know what it is, that thing that's attached to the tongue. But where are his teeth? His teeth seem to disappear, and his tongue isn't up, so you wouldn't be able to see that thing, and you would be able to see the teeth. So where did his teeth go, and what the hell is that? I've had like multiple people try to like replicate what he's doing there. I swear his tongue is down there. So how is that thing showing? What is that? I don't know. Oh, and it's like sustained. So, and look at his eye. You got those weird, glassy, pale, dull-looking eyes. Oh, and I guess that's his natural skin color. So anyway, hey, look at the pupil there. Oh, it's not focusing right, but it's like sideways or something. He's actually got two pupils. Oh, that's crazy. He's got two pupils. Oh, you can't really see the contrast is too. There we go. I won't pick it up on this camera. Can we do it there? There you go. Look, there's a dot there and there's a dot there. He's got two freaking pupils. Alrighty. So that's just one thing I wanted to show you. That might be nothing, but the person I showed it to isn't even woke, and they thought, yeah, that's weird. I don't know what that is. So there you go. This is what I wanted to get into, and on the off chance that was enough for one video, I'm just going to do my outro here in case I need to cut this video short and just make it about the horror movie stuff. So hope you enjoyed watching. Truth Dog out. Woof woof. Hey everybody, Truth Dog here, internet's favorite dog. Back at it with another video, and today we're going to be looking at shape-shifting. This is a video posted by Divine Watcher. This is Divine Truth One's other channel. And I found this really interesting. It kind of relates to a video that I've made in the past, which is Confrontation and Exposure Causes Reptilians to Shapeshift. That's my most popular video. That has like, I don't know how many. It's got like over 100,000 views on it somehow. And that one really blew up at a point, but it was when I wasn't making videos, and so I could have capitalized on that, and maybe my channel would be in a better place right now. But if I don't feel like something, I don't do it. Anyway, so enough about that. I thought this was like a really interesting example, a good opportunity to teach about reptilian shapeshifting, at least what I understand about it. So this is that guy that crowdsourced the truth, and he's the one who did the exposing the New York City hospitals as being empty and no one in New York, that he walked around the street and couldn't find anyone with coronavirus or anyone who knows coronavirus, because it's a big hoax. And this is a video that she's posted of him visiting a funeral director, asking about where all the dead bodies are that the media's reporting and whatnot. And she doesn't point this out in the video, so I thought I would. This is, I guess, the funeral owner's daughter, and I mean, it looks like he's kissing her there rather inappropriately, which is rather telling of these reptilian families. They're very incestuous, as far from what I can tell. But just with this girl, like, she looks kind of like a fish, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but her eyes are slit. She got like almost like fish eyes. She kind of looks like a fish, like I just said. But something interesting happens here, where she notices the camera and she's gone, because I've had that happen where you film these things, and like I said, exposure terrifies them. They don't want to be on camera, even if it's just like a subconscious knowing. As soon as they know that they're being filmed, especially if they're doing something wrong, they're fucking out of there. So if you like still experience gang stalking, a good way to get rid of them is to just film them. Or if you like have to go to a meeting where you know that you're dealing with a perp, just have your phone recording in your pocket or something like that. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, it actually stops them from acting like assholes, because they do not want you to have evidence of them being the psychopaths that they are. So I'll just play this. So she's backing up her father. Then see right here, she notices the camera. I don't know how obviously he's filming. He might be trying to hide it. I'm not sure. There he is right there. So she sees the camera right there. Oh, and look, see what the frick is that on her mouth? See, I would imagine that's like the actual shape of her mouth. Maybe those are her real teeth coming through the hologram or something. So look at this. Uh-oh. She says, like, there's a camera, and she's out of there. Bye-bye. So she's left her father to hang out and dry, or whatever that phrase is, and he's having to lie about this, and he gets nervous, and when they get nervous, they shapeshift, like I've said. One thing I should also mention is that, okay, this is a saying that I've had for a long time, that there's really 2 types of people in this world: people with anxiety and people who cause anxiety. And the empaths are the people who have anxiety, and the psychopaths, reptilians, perps, narcissists, whatever, they're the ones who cause anxiety. They don't have anxiety. They only have nervousness. Nervousness is, that's all they feel. It's like a criminal will be nervous that they're going to get caught. They're not anxious. Anxiety is like a survival mechanism for prey. It's like what a deer feels at the watering hole when they get that sense that a wolf or a bear or something is around. They just get that gut feeling, and they're like, okay, for my own self-preservation, I have to get out of here. The problem with society is us being the deer, the prey, that in most situations we're forced to work or be around psychopaths. So we feel that awful knowing that discomfort, that negative energy. It's like we can almost read, we can read their minds, and we know that they hate us, and we just feel that hatred no matter how fake they are. So yeah, that's just one thing that I wanted to put out there, that that's the thing that you hear. Everyone says, oh, everyone gets anxiety. That's bullshit. Because we know at this point the NPCs have no inner voice. They never mention that. They will just copy whatever they need to copy to stay hidden. Like an NPC is just to blend in with you. It's like a walking security camera. So the people who are soulless, the AI, the bots, they say they have anxiety because they just copy you. They copy whatever the normal is. If they're told everyone has anxiety, they have it. They only experience nervousness. And the psychopaths, the perps, the ones who control the world, they only experience nervousness from worrying about being caught. It's only the real people who have anxiety, and like I said, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's our self-defense, but we'll get back to this. So you saw that shape-shifting. He's aware of the camera like his daughter was, but his daughter had the opportunity to get out of there. See the eye there? And that pupil goes gigantic, and that one like almost disappears. So
I don't know. I can't even say for a picture because we're still getting them by the
they're just talking in circles, you know, like a politician will do.
Some of them are only opening from releasing the
And as she points out here, he uses an opportunity to throw up a 666, not with his hand like they do. In case you didn't know, I'm only doing this for educational purposes. The 666, that's, see the circle makes the first six, then the second, then the third. So they've used that as like, they've promoted that with saying it's the OK sign, but it's the 666, and apparently it's to hold us in basically a state of mind control. It really only works on people who are asleep, and it really works on the NPCs. The 666 is meant to, like, it's like a command. It's meant to make you fall in line, or, you know, to stop questioning authority. So he says that most of the places are open from 3 to 6, and that's 3 6s. So he's trying to stop this guy who's interviewing him from asking any more questions by putting a 666 out there. Of course, like I said, it doesn't work on people who are awake, but that's not going to stop them trying. When I had a job, I was a temp at a radio station. I was set up and fired from that station because the guy I was working with was a Freemason, a Reptilian. And on the day that he set me up, because I wouldn't stop talking. I wouldn't stop talking. He was telling me, just go home, just go home. And I knew if I went home, because no one else was there, I knew if I went home that he could control the narrative completely and tell everybody that I did this, said that, blah, blah, blah. He'd already turned everyone against me. So he wanted me to leave, and I wouldn't leave, and I wouldn't shut up. I wouldn't leave him alone. And then eventually he just turned to me and he threw up that 666 sign. And as soon as he threw it up, I said 666 to show him that I noticed it, that it didn't work on me, that I'm conscious. I see things like that. And he burst out laughing. And he said, "What did you say?" Right? It was the one moment of levity in that entire experience. I said, nothing. I played dumb, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he did not expect me to know what he was doing. And yeah, so that's something that they do, the 666. I don't know if I should end it here, because I feel like this video has gone on quite a while. But we'll just, so in case I do end it here, it's been a Truth Dog production. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good day. Truth Dog out. Woof woof.